What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Scoreline Sports. Next, we got the Pac-12 tournament predictions as a part of our My Champ Week special here on the channel. So this is the Pac-12 tournament. The clear favorite for me in this tournament is Arizona. I don't see a lot of people really giving them much trouble. I know they've kind of been a little inconsistent throughout the year. In fact, they did just lose to USC, but I do think that they are far and away the best team in this tournament. So that's just a little bit of a pre-tournament statement. But anyways, let's get into the predictions, starting with Washington versus USC. Now, this game already did happen, but I did pick USC before this game happened. You guys have to trust me. Um, Obviously, they haven't been as good as people thought they were going to be with Collier and Bronny James, but they just got to give it time. Bronny James will come back next year. Hopefully, he will be more of a star in their offense. And then Isaiah Collier will likely be a top draft pick. Hopefully, hope the best for that young guy, that young kid. So, yeah, we'll see what happens in the future. But I did pick USC before this game happened. You can believe that if you want to. But USC did end up winning this game. So there we go. We have USC. Then we got UCLA and Oregon State. UCLA is having a down year after they lost quite a lot. Amari Bailey, Tiger Campbell, Jaime Jaquez, to name a few from last year when they had that run to the Sweet 16 as a two seed. So they haven't had a great season, but obviously Oregon State is the worst in the league. So I think it's safe to pick UCLA here. Then we got number 7 Cal and number 10 Stanford. Stanford, I thought they were going to be better this year. I remember watching them play Michigan actually in the Battle for Atlantis tournament all the way back in November, and they didn't look so bad. Now, granted, Michigan, who beat them in that game by a couple points, ended up being very bad as well. In fact, even worse than Stanford. So I guess it makes sense that Stanford isn't great, but I'm going to go with them over Cal. Then we got Utah and Arizona State. I had been seeing Utah on some bubble watches recently, although I'm not too sure if they're still on the bubble or maybe if they fell off a little bit. But if they were to make the tournament, I would say, at least a run to the final here, if not winning this tournament to get into the NCAA tournament. And it all starts with Arizona State, the number 11 seed, has definitely had a downgrade from last year when they made the tournament and lost to TCU in the first round. But I'm going to go with Utah on this one. Then on Thursday, which is tomorrow, we got the quarterfinals. And the top dogs, Arizona, will be taking on number 9 USC. Arizona has been far and away the best team in this conference, despite, like I mentioned, some of the inconsistencies. They dropped one to Washington State. They just dropped one to USC in their last game of the season. So they're not perfect, but they definitely are the best team in this conference. Caleb Love, love Caleb Love. I love the way that Caleb Love is playing. Definitely one of the better transfers that we've seen come out of this season, and I think Arizona will get their revenge. No one, USC is not going to beat Arizona 2 times in a row, for being realistic. So I'll go with Arizona. Then we got number 4 Oregon and UCLA. Oregon is no longer on the bubble. I think they just lost too many games that they shouldn't have lost. So they definitely would need to, I'd say, win this entire tournament to make March Madness. Obviously, the winner of the tournament gets the automatic bid. That's how all the conference tournaments work, if you didn't know. And it starts with UCLA, and I think Oregon will get this win against UCLA. Then we got number 2 Washington State, who, in my opinion, has been one of the biggest surprises throughout the country. Nobody, at least not myself, expected Washington State to be a solid tournament team. And yet here we are. Washington State is going to be a tournament team this year, and I really need to pay attention to them more. I hope that this game is available. Normally, these earlier rounds are on Pac-12 Network, which I don't have, but I hope that Washington State makes it far enough in the tournament so that I can watch them because I really want to look at this team and see how they're doing. I know they beat Arizona, so I've heard a lot of good things about them, but I really want to see if they're legit. They're definitely going to beat Stanford, though. Then we got Colorado and Utah. Colorado, I know they're on the bubble, so this is a must-win game for them. And Cody Williams, I think his name is going to be a top draft pick. That kid is definitely has obvious talent, and yeah, I think Colorado is going to get the win here. Then in the semifinals, Arizona and Oregon. Arizona hasn't really had any trouble with Oregon this season, but Obviously, Oregon. Rumors. I've heard some rumors about Dana Altman, the Oregon basketball coach, potentially retiring after the season. And maybe it's time to be honest. Oregon has had a lot of talent for multiple seasons in a row now and have been unable to make the tournament. This year they got Jackson Shelstad, the standout freshman. They got Kwame Evans Jr., the other stand or the 5 star coming into this season. And I'm really surprised that this isn't a tournament team. I feel like earlier in Dana Altman's career, this team would have been a shoe-in for the tournament, maybe even like a 5 seed or a 4 seed. But obviously that's not the case this year. And they're gonna have to win this entire tournament to make March Madness. But I don't think they're going to. I think Arizona definitely has their number this year, which Arizona has a lot of teams' number. So I'm going to go with Arizona. Then on the other semifinal, we got Washington State versus Colorado. And I'm going to pick Washington State on this one. Like I said, I don't really know a lot about them, but I do know that they're good. And not saying that Colorado isn't good, but I think Washington State is a little bit better than Colorado. So I'm going to go with them. And then finally, on Saturday, March 16th, we got the championship game Arizona versus Washington State. I know that Washington State beat Arizona earlier this year, but I feel like Arizona is going to be able to avenge that loss in this game. Caleb Love is just a baller. Pella Larson has played much better this year, and obviously they got the people that have been there for a long time, like Umar Ballo, the big guy down low. And I don't think Washington State is going to be able to pull off the upset 2 times in the same season, although I am looking forward to seeing Washington State in the tournament. So I am going to go with Arizona to be this year's Pac 12 champions. All right, let me know what you guys think about this. And of course, stay tuned because we got 4 more conference tournament bracket predictions coming out. See you guys in the next one.